Good morning, Joanne and Deborah and whoever else is on. This is a 1 hour yoga, basic yoga flow. And we're going to be starting on our backs. So lying on our backs, knees bent. Just either knees bent or soles of your feet together in butterfly pose. And just start breathing and becoming aware of your shoulders melting into the mat, your knees being heavy. Let the gravity ground your knees down. And start breathing from your belly to your rib cage, elevating your chest. Deep inhale through your nose and exhale through your mouth. Really exaggerate this rolling of the breath, bringing awareness to your spine, bringing awareness to your shoulders, bringing awareness to the opening of your hips. And last, rolling of the breath. Deep inhale, lifting up your rib cage, and long exhale, rolling your breath back down your spine. And then take your hands, use your hands to lift your legs up. Place the soles of your feet on the mat. Open up your arms in T shape. And just slowly move your legs, move your knees from side to side, taking the opposite hip with you. Just a warming up of the spine, a rotation of the spine, rotation of your torso. Side to side. And two more. And one more. And back to center. Open up your legs so you're straddling the mat. And again, let's windshield your legs, your knees from side to side. And two more. And one more. Back to center. Bring your knees to your shoulders. Give yourself a nice tug. Give your knees a nice tug to your shoulders. Keep your feet flexed. Keep your toes spread. And then start making circles with your knees. Bring your knees out to your shoulders and to midline or the opposite direction, doesn't matter. Just juicing up the hips. Just oiling. doing what our hips want us to do, and then the opposite direction. And then bring your knees together. Bring your knees to your chest. Bring your nose to your knees. Give yourself a nice hug. Maybe rocking side to side. Giving your back a nice massage. And then holding on to your right knee, lengthen your left leg. Let your left leg hover over the mat and point and flex your left foot. All the while keeping your right foot flexed as well. So keeping both feet engaged. Point and flex your left foot. 2 more. And 1 more. And lower your left leg to the mat. Open up your right knee to your shoulder. And sway your right knee back to center. Back and forth. Two more. From your shoulder to your chest. Shoulder and chest. Bend your left knee. Take your right ankle, place it on top of your left knee. Lift your left foot off the mat. Thread your hands in between your legs and hold on to the back of your left thigh. And move your left knee towards your body. And we're in figure 4. And you should feel a nice sensation in your right sit bone. Keeping both feet flexed. Maybe straighten your right leg. Straighten your left leg. Sole of your left foot facing the ceiling. And then bend your left leg. Lower your left foot to the mat. Bring your hands at your side. Root into your left foot and lift your hips up. So you're in figure 4, bridge pose. Option to wrap your shoulders underneath your back and lift your hips up even higher. Really exaggerate. Lifting up, using the strength of your left leg, your left thigh, your left hip, your left glute. And breathe. Breathe into your belly, breathe into your ribs. And then stay here, but take your right leg off your left foot and lift your right leg up above your hip. Sole of your right foot facing the ceiling. And then slowly lower your right leg down. Let it hover over the mat and lift up again. And lower down. Inhale, lift up. Lower down. 2 more. Lift up and lower down. 1 more. Lift up. Lower down. Stay here. Let your right foot hover over the mat. You might be feeling a little bit of lactic acid in your left hip, your left glute, and lower down. Slowly lower your right leg down, lower your spine down, and straighten your left leg. Lift your arms up above your head. Let them land on the mat behind you. Point your toes, point your fingers. Deep breath, lifting your sacrum off the floor. And relax. Again, stretch your toes or point your toes, point your fingers. Deep inhale and relax. Lower your arms down. Bend your knees. Bring your knees to your chest. Hold on to your knees. Bring your nose to your knees. Give yourself a nice tight hug. Maybe rock side to side. Hold on to your left knee. Lengthen your right leg. Let your right leg hover over the mat. Keep both feet flexed. And then point and flex your right foot. Point and flex, and point and flex, and point and flex. One more, point and flex, and lower your right leg to the mat. Take your left knee and sway from side to side. To your shoulder, midline, shoulder, midline. Few more. 2 more. And 1 more. And then bend your right leg. Take your left ankle to your right knee. Thread your hands in between your legs. Lift your right foot off the mat. And we're in figure 4 on the other side. Really move your right knee towards your body. So you're feeling a sensation in your left hip bone or your left muscle. And maybe straighten your right leg. Sole of the foot facing the ceiling. And just breathe. Breathing into your left muscle, your left hip muscle, your left glute muscle. Last inhale, and on your exhale, lower your right foot to the mat. Bring your hands at your side, root into your right foot, and lift your hips up for bridge pose, figure 4. Wrap your shoulders underneath your back. That's just an option. And breathe. Really exaggerate lifting your hips up using the strength of your right leg. Maybe clasp your hands underneath your back to further lifting your hips up, lifting your chest up, opening up your chest. And then if your hands are clasped underneath your back, remove your hands. Take your left leg, straighten your left leg above your hip, sole of your left foot facing the ceiling. Deep breath using the strength of your right leg. Inhale, and on your exhale, slowly lower your right leg. Let it hover a couple of inches off the mat and back up. At your own pace, nice and slow. Lifting your leg up and lowering it down. 2 more. And 1 more. And then bend your right leg and slowly lower your spine back onto the mat. And just stay here in a little bit of a recovery pose. And then bring both knees into your chest. Hold onto your knees. Really move your knees as close as possible to your chest. Stay here. Open up your arms in T shape and send both knees over to the right side. Really softening your left shoulder down. An option to either look at the ceiling or take your gaze over to your left shoulder. An option to take your right hand, place it on top of your legs, press your legs down for a little bit of a deeper stretch. Breathing into your right side. Breathing into your left side. Breathing into your open side. Option to also take your top leg, straighten it out, and maybe hold on to your toes. These are just options. These are just modifications. All the while, softening your left shoulder down. And then slowly lifting up your legs, your knees off the floor. Shifting back to neutral. Bring your knees to your chest. Hold on to your knees. Bring them as close as possible to your chest. Open up your arms in T shape and send both knees over to the other side. Nice and slow. Nice spinal twist. Softening your right shoulder down. And either take your gaze to the ceiling or to your right shoulder. An option to straighten your top leg and hold on to your toes. Or option to just take your left hand and press your legs down. Breathing into your right side, into your open side. It's a nice spinal twist. A nice torso twist. Sending your breath to your open side. Visualize where your breath is going. Last deep breath. And on your exhale, lift your legs up, back to neutral. Straighten your legs, straighten your arms above your head. Point your fingers, point your toes. Deep inhale. And exhale and relax. Bend your knees. Lower your hands back down to your hips. Lift your feet off the mat. Hold on to the backs of your thighs and rock and roll forward and back. Just a few rock and rolls and meet me in tabletop position. Straighten up my leg, my hands. Tabletop position, knees under hips, wrists under elbows, elbows under shoulders. Spread your fingers nice and wide. Use the pads of your fingers to grip the mat. Inhale, round your back. Exhale, scoop your back, cave in, lift your chin. Actually, curl your toes under so you've got some good traction. And just at your own pace, inhale, round your back. Exhale, scoop, lift your chin. We're just going through some cat-cows. Really exaggerating the breath. If this is hard on your knees, you can either roll your mat over, or if you're still in your home, I'm sure you have a pillow you can put under your knees. A few more. Maybe close your eyes. Get into a meditative state of this cat-cow. Two more. And one more. And back to neutral. Inhale, lift your right arm up. Send your left leg back. Lift your left leg off the mat and stay here. You want your right arm next to your ear. Find a spot on the mat. Focus in this strengthening pose, using your torso, using strength to hold your arm up, to hold your leg up. 3, 2, 1, and elbow to knee. Lengthening back out. Elbow to knee. Lengthening back out. Elbow to knee. Lengthening back out. Leave your left leg elevated. Lower your right hand to the mat. And then take your left leg, shoot it to your left elbow, lengthening back out. Elbow, lengthening back out. Elbow, lengthening back out. Stay here, and then bend your elbows and lower your nose to the mat and lift up. So sort of push-ups with your left leg elevated. Again, lower your lower your nose to the mat and lift up. 2 more. Push up and up. 1 more. And up. Keeping your left leg elevated, we're going to do all 3. So, nose to knee, lengthening back out. Knee, did I say nose to knee? Yeah. Knee to elbow, lengthening out. Push up and up. Knee to nose, lengthening out. Knee to elbow, lengthening out. And push up and up. Knee to nose, lengthening out. Knee to elbow, lengthening out. And push up. And bring your knee back down. Sit back for child's pose. Option to have your arms at your side, lowering your forehead to the mat. or option to have your arms in front. In this recovery pose, just bringing awareness to your lower back, to your hips, and just giving your wrists, your arms, your legs a little bit of a break. Option to revolve your hands, your palms facing the ceiling. And then gaze up and pull yourself back up into tabletop position. Other side. Inhale, lift your left arm up. So bicep next to your ear. Lift your right leg up. Stay here in this strengthening, balancing pose. Curl your left toes under so you've got good traction on the mat. Root into your right fingertips and stay here. Nice and strong. Find a spot on the mat. Three, two, one, and elbow to knee. Lengthening back out. Elbow to knee. Lengthening back out. Elbow to knee. Lengthening back out. Lower your left hand to the mat. Take your right knee to your elbow. Lengthening back out. To your elbow. Lengthening out. To your elbow. Lengthening out. Leave your right leg elevated and push up. And coming back up. Bend your elbows, push up. One more. Inhale and exhale. Now we'll do all three. Knee to nose, lengthening out. Knee to elbow, shoot it out. Bend your elbows, push up, and coming up. Knee to nose, lengthening out. Knee to elbow, lengthening out, and push up. Knee to nose, lengthening out. Knee to elbow, lengthening out. Bend your elbows, lower down, and coming up. One more time. Knee to nose, lengthening out. Knee to elbow, lengthening out. And push up. Coming up, lower your knee back down to the mat. Kiss your toes together. Open up your knees so you're straddling the mat. And sit back into a wide-legged child's pose. Revolve your hands. And maybe revolve your wrists. Lower your head to the mat. Maybe bend your elbows, bringing your hands behind your head. And really sit back, exaggerate, moving your hips back onto your heels for this recovery pose, restorative pose. And last, deep inhale. And on your exhale, use your fingertips to pull you up. Bring your knees together. Curl your toes under, root into your fingertips. Have your hands a little bit higher than your elbows, than your shoulders. Root into your toes and lift your knees off the mat. So keep a soft bend in your elbows. Your knees are just hovering over the mat for 3, 2, 1, and lift your hips up for downward facing dog. So you want to lower your head in between your arms. You want to lift your hips up high. You want to find a spot either on your thighs or your shins and look at that spot. Hips up high, head low. Softening your shoulders, broadening your upper back. Maybe pedaling your feet out. Right heel down, left heel down, right heel down, left heel down. Just work it out. And then coming up onto your toes and lower your heels down. They may not reach all the way down, but just intend them down. So you're feeling a stretch in your calves and your Achilles. And then coming up onto your toes again and tiptoe to the top of the mat and staying in ragdoll. So let your upper body be heavy. Let your arms be heavy. Let your head be heavy. Let gravity just take your entire upper body down. Maybe holding on to your elbows and swaying side to side. And the deeper the bend in your knees, the easier it is on your lower back. Maybe rest your belly and your chest on your thighs. And then inhale, hands on shins, flat back, forward fold. Inhale, hands on shins, flat back, forward fold. Inhale, hands on shins, flat back, and then reverse swan dive all the way up. Clasp your hands together, bring your head in between your shoulders, lifting your head up, keeping a soft bend in your knees. Deep inhale, and on your exhale, lower your arms down. Bring your arms at your side. Taking a deep breath in this recovery pose before we go into some sun salutations. So shoulders soft. Rooting into your feet, palms facing forward. Deep breath. And feet shoulder width apart, rooting into your feet. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, hands on shins, flat back, forward fold. Fingertips on mat, take your right leg back, right knee on the mat. Lift your arms up. Deep inhale, and on your exhale, lower your hands to the mat. Take your top leg back for plank position. Lower your knees to the mat, bend your elbows, lower your upper body to the mat. Curl your chest up, cobra. Lower your chest down. Curl your toes under, come up onto your knees. Lift your hips up for downward facing dog. Gaze forward, right foot to the top of the mat. Lower your left knee to the mat. Rise up. Inhale, and on your exhale, lower your hands down. Lift your hips up. Bring your back leg to the top of the mat. Inhale, hands on shins, flat back, forward fold. Fingertips on mat, take your left leg back, left knee to the mat. Rise up. Inhale, lower your hands to the mat. Take your top leg back for plank position. Lower your knees to the mat. Lower your upper body to the mat. Pull your chest forward for cobra. Lower your chest down. Curl your toes under. Come up into downward facing dog. Gaze forward. Take your left foot to the top of the mat. Lower your right knee to the mat. Rise up. Lower your hands to the mat. Lift your hips up. Back leg to the top of the mat. Inhale, hands on shins, forward fold. Sorry. Hands on shins, flat back. Forward fold. Fingertips on mat. Take your right leg back. Open up your left foot so you're on a railroad track. Rise up. Crescent lunge. And lower your hands to the mat. Take your top leg back. Plank position. Lower your body to the mat. Pull your chest up. Lower your chest down. Curl your toes under. Come up into downward facing dog. Gaze forward. Right leg to the top of the mat. Rise up. Crescent lunge. Inhale. Lower your hands to the mat. Take your back leg to the top of the mat. Hands on shins, flat back, forward fold. Fingertips on mat. Take your left leg back. Open up your right leg, your right foot, so you're on a railroad track. Rise up for crescent lunge. Inhale, lower your hands down. Take your top leg back, plank position. Option to be on your knees. Lower your body down for chaturanga. Pull your chest up. Lower your chest down. Curl your toes under. Come up into downward facing dog. Gaze forward. Left foot to the top of the mat. Crescent lunge. Inhale. Lower your hands to the mat. Take your back leg to the top of the mat. Hands on shins, flat back, forward fold. Fingertips on mat. Take your right leg back, and we're coming into a warrior two. So your right leg, your right foot, edge of the foot is parallel to the edge of the mat. Deep bend in your left leg, arms out, and take your gaze over your left fingertips. Root in to your left leg and stay here. Softening your shoulders. Feel the strength in your left leg. And then flip your left hand over. Take your left hand to the right side. Opening up your left side. You could take your gaze either to your left elbow or the ceiling, or you can take your gaze down to your right foot. Yogi's choice. And then lower your left hand to your thigh, lift your right arm up. Maybe cactus your right arm. Taking your gaze either to the ceiling Or you can take your gaze down to your left foot. Make sure your left knee is open. Try not to have it cave in. And then back to warrior two. Deep inhale. And then helicopter your hands to frame your left foot. Revolve your right toes so they're facing the front of the mat. Bring your hands a little bit ahead of your left foot. Bring your right foot a little bit closer to your left and lift your right leg off the mat, coming into half splits. Option to just keep your right toes on the mat, but if it's accessible to you, lifting your right leg up, lowering your head over your left knee. And if you have blocks, it might be easier to just hold on to have the floor closer to you. 3, 2, 1, and bring your right foot to meet your left. Hands on shins, flat back, forward fold, fingertips on mat. Take both legs back for plank position. Option to be on your knees and just shimmy back and forth. Just rolling onto your toes. 3, 2, 1. Lower your knees to the mat. Bend your elbows as you lower your body to the mat. Bring your elbows a little bit ahead of your shoulders. We're in Sphinx pose, opening up. Maybe opening up your hands so they're at the corners of your mat, and use your fingertips to pull the mat towards you as you pull your rib cage off the mat and relax. Again, use your fingertips to pull your rib cage off the mat and relax. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders, curl your toes under, come up into table and downward facing dog. Gaze forward and tiptoe to the top of the mat for forward fold. Fingertips on mat, hands on shins, flat back. Forward fold, fingertips on mat. Take your left leg back. Land your left foot into warrior two position. So the edge of your left foot is parallel to the edge of the mat. And we're in warrior two on the other side. Arms out, take your gaze over your right fingertips. Make sure your right knee is open. Make sure it's not caving in. And just be grateful for this strength, the strength that you have to stay in this pose. Lots of strength in your right thigh, in your right quadricep. And then flip your right hand over, send your right hand to the left side for peaceful warrior, and either take your gaze up to the ceiling or down to your left foot. Yogi's choice, breathing into your open side, sending the breath to your open side. Opening up your shoulder and your chest. And then coming back to warrior two, and lower your right hand to your thigh. Take your left hand over to the right side, opening up your shoulder, opening up your chest. Take your gaze to the sky. Breathing into your open side. And then coming back to warrior two. And then helicopter your hands to frame your right foot. Revolve your left foot so it's facing the top of the mat. Bring your hands a little bit ahead of your right foot. Bring your left foot closer to your right. Option to stay on your left toes or lift your toes up. And we're in standing split on the other side. Lower your head over your right leg. Taking deep breaths in this peak pose, in this strengthening pose. 3, 2, 1. Bend your left leg and bring it next to your right. Hands on shins, flat back, forward fold. Root into your feet. Transfer all the weight into your heels and come into a seated chair pose. Stay here and rise up. And chair pose again. Really transfer your weight into your heels, into your glutes. Find a spot in front of you. And then take both elbows. Take both elbows and send them over to the right side. Really wrap your left elbow to the outside of your right leg. Lift your right elbow up to the sky. 3, 2, 1, and come back to center and rise up. Bring your arms up, head in between your shoulders, lift your head up, and coming back into chair pose. Rooting into your heels, and then take your right elbow to your left, outside of your left leg, lift your left elbow up, strengthening pose. 3, 2, 1, back to center and rise up. Arms up. And then take your left hand with your left wrist with your right hand and pull your left arm over to the right side. Breathing into your left side. And opposite, take your right hand with your left hand and pull to the other side. Really pulling your arm to create lengthening in your right side and create this arc, lowering your arms down. And then make your way into seated position. Lengthening your legs, digging into your heels. Keep a soft bend in your knees. Lift your arms up as you forward fold over your legs. Again, keep a soft bend in your knees. And either rest your hands beside your legs or the edges of your feet or your toes. You can round your back here, intending your head towards your legs. And with each inhale, lower your body a little bit deeper on your exhale. And then slowly use your hands to walk your body, your upper body off your legs. Bring your hands behind you, shoulders back. Elevate your chest, bring your head back. Deep inhale into your chest. Lifting up your chest, lifting up your chin, and coming back to center. Shaking your legs out. And then slowly walk your legs open. And then walk your hands to the center. And either just resting your hands on the floor or on the mat, or try and lower your elbows to the mat. If this is enough, that's fine. Every body is different and every day is different. Some days we can move or breathe into a stretch or into a pose, and some days we can't. Honor that. And then slowly lifting your body up. Take your left leg, bring it to the inside of your right. Bring your shoulders over to your right leg and forward fold over your right leg. Option to take your left hand to the edge of your right foot and pull your body over, twisting your body over. Taking your gaze to the outside of your right leg. Really pulling, opening up your left side. Last deep inhale into your left side, and then walk your hands, walk your upper body off your leg. Take your right leg, cross it over your left, and then take your left hand or your left elbow to the outside of your right leg for a full shoelace spinal twist. And take your gaze over to your right shoulder. With each exhale, move a little bit deeper into this twist. Last deep inhale. And on your exhale, just take your hands over to the left side for a counter twist. Twist over, take your gaze over your left shoulder. And then coming back to center, lengthening your legs, shake it out. And then slowly open up again. Take your right foot to the inside of your left. Bring your shoulders over your left leg and forward fold over your right side, your left side. An option to take your right hand to the edge of your left foot and take your gaze to the outside of your left leg. So you're sending your gaze where you want your twist to go. Breathing into your right side. Last inhale, and on your exhale, lift your upper body off your left leg. Take your leg, cross it over your right leg. Take your right elbow to the outside of your left leg and come into a twist on the other side. Keeping length in your spine, crown of the head facing the ceiling, intending your chin towards your left shoulder. And then letting go and come into a counter pose or a counter twist on the other side. Bring both hands over to the right side, twisting over, taking your gaze over to your right shoulder. And then back to center. Lengthening your legs on the mat. Deep bend in your knees. Dig your heels into the mat. And just lean back, elevating your chest. Chin off your chest. Option to either hold on to the backs of your legs or bring your arms parallel to the mat. Option to bring both feet off the mat. Option to straighten your legs. Option to bring your arms at your side. 3, 2, 1, and bring your knees to your chest. Open up your knees to your shoulders. An option to hold on to the edges of your feet and come into a happy baby. Maybe rock side to side, maybe straighten one leg, straighten the other leg. Full happy baby expression. Maybe lifting your upper body. And then bringing your knees to your chest again. Lower your feet to the mat. Bring your arms at your side, palms facing up, lengthening your legs. And we're in our final resting pose, Shavasana. Just letting your body recover from the stretches, the lengthening, the pulling, the deep breathing, the twists. Bringing your breath back to neutral, letting go of any contraction you have in your muscles, and let your body be heavy into the mat, into the floor. And begin to bring movement to your ankles and your wrists. Bending your knees. And bring your knees over to one side. And use your top hand to lift your body up and meet me in seated position. Thank you for allowing me to guide you. Kind thoughts, kind words, kind heart. Namaste.